Welcome to the Fox Institute for Creation Spiritualities in Conversation. I'm Kip Hubbard, and we're here today to talk about our Spring Intensive #2, Sacred Activism, Finding Form in Chaos, to be held March 12th through the 16th right here at our Boulder, Colorado campus. Greetings to today's guests. First, Theodore Richards, PhD, poet, novelist, and religious philosopher, who will be teaching the seminar course, Sacred Activism in an Apocalyptic Age. Welcome, Ted.
Thanks, Kip.
And also joining us, and joining Ted as a guest lecturer during the course, will be Andrew Harvey, the founding director of the Institute of Sacred Activism. Greetings, Andrew.
Lovely to be here.
And also welcome to Robyn Hubbard, DMin. She's a spiritual mentor, grief counselor, a certified dream worker, and a dancer who will be teaching the Art is Meditation course, Soul Dance, a movement practice for soulful living and grieving. Hi, Robyn.
Hi, thank you.
Thanks for being here. So let's start with Ted. Ted, your focus on this course is obviously sacred activism, which is really at the core of creation spirituality and at the core of our school. Can you tell us what your students will glean from the course and how sacred activism particularly will serve them as they're out in the world and moving into their work in the world?
Yeah, sure, Kip. I think all one has to do is kind of open one's eyes and look around to see that this is a time not so much to sit on our hands and do nothing, but really it's a time for action in the world, and that's always been an important part of creation spirituality, the prophetic, and sort of balancing with the mystic. And I use the term apocalyptic age because I think that I expect our world to be destroyed, but because I think that this is a moment of unveiling. It's a moment when not that the world is ending, but that a world view is ending. And so for sacred activists, what's required of us isn't merely just to kind of go on the streets and protest and talk about what we don't want. It's to really kind of look at the root of our troubles and the core of our troubles, which really comes down to our worldview, our cosmology, the stories we tell about how we conceive of ourselves and put our world together through myth and through symbol, and how we do that in community. So the work of the course is really going to start from that point. It's going to start from this notion that we are at an apocalyptic moment, a moment when it's time to use our imagination in order to kind of bring forth something new, to give birth to something new. So we can think of it as sort of a process of giving birth and a process of reimagining who we are in the world, because I think we're at a moment in human history when this notion of the human as a consumer, or the human as a machine, or all these different metaphors that we base kind of modern civilization on, those metaphors, those stories are going away, and we're called forth to bring something new.
Well, thank you. That's wonderful. And I want to say that I'm really excited that both you and Andrew are here for that intensive week teaching this subject, because it's right. It's a powerful time right now, and I think it'll be really important for our students as a course. Andrew, thanks for being here. Your whole life work is rooted in sacred activism. Tell us about what you will be focusing on.
I will be focusing on the birth of a new humanity that is taking place in the middle of this cauldron of chaos. I believe that what's being born on the earth is an embodied divine humanity, a humanity that is conscious of its divine origin, conscious of its divine identity, but which embodies love and wisdom in very carefully focused radical action, so as to give birth to a new world in and under God. And this is not only an evolutionary shift. It's a shift of the whole of human being into another level of divine incarnation. And this is what sacred activism is at its highest. It is the cauldron in which a new kind of human being is born. A human being who combines in his or her essence all of the opposites, the light and the dark, the male and the female, profound spiritual awareness and radical action. When you understand sacred activism like that, and you identify the ways in which this birth is already happening, you point to a great reservoir of sacred energy, of sacred hope and sacred passion, which we now need to turn to with the fullness of our whole being, so as to truly meet the challenges of our time. And the challenges of our time are apocalyptic. We are potentially facing extinction. We could be wiped out by our hubris and our greed and the devastation that they are causing. But we could also be, and this is the work of sacred activism, we could also be conscious birthers of a new humanity in and through fusing together in the core of ourselves profound spirituality, profound mystical understanding, profound mystical stamina and passion and compassion, with real radical, very urgent but very balanced action on every level and in every realm to save the planet from destruction.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we need that leadership. We desperately need that leadership. And I'm so excited that all three of you will be here. And on that note, I'm going to turn to Robyn. And Robyn, you're teaching the Art is Med course. I'd like to talk to you about the principles of your course, the 4 paths of soulful living and grieving, which is, I know, is something that you've been developing. What can students expect to gain from your Art is Med class?
Thank you. So first, I just want to say I'm so honored to be teaching next alongside Ted and Andrew both for this week. And Andrew's been one of my primary teachers for a long time. And so the influence of his work is deeply rooted in what I'll be presenting as well. And as Andrew spoke, my course is really about the embodiment piece. So it's an experiential practice, really, of what both Ted and Andrew were just talking about. And so the 4 paths of soulful living and grieving are the 4 paths named are the paths of resource, release, renewal, and return. And they mirror the paths of creation spirituality. And in my experience, these paths are a spiraling manifestation of the whole of our experience. So in this course, we'll break these paths down so that we can truly have the felt sense and the embodied experience of each of them, so that we can locate ourselves and discover what we may need to support ourselves in this evolutionary process and action in the world. The path of resource is that which gives us strength and support, and the inner strength that we draw on from within ourselves, and also that which we draw on from that which is larger than us, our divine nourishment. Have that experience of accessing that. And then the path of release. So when we're bolstered by that resource, we will have the experience of the release, the active engagement of emptying ourselves, of expression, of emotion, of distortion, of fear, of whatever may be stirring within us that keeps us held back or cloaked, numb, or whatever it might be that holds us back. So we give ourselves the experience of emptying through the path of release, which then gives us more awakened spaciousness within ourselves in the path of renewal, which is that newly emerging, after this release, that newly emerging quality that we discover within ourselves. It's kind of the birth of the new seeds and of discovery and the potential for creativity and imagination, as Ted and Andrew both spoke of. And as Andrew says, it's really, for me, this is the path of divinization of ourselves. It's the awakening of the divine human being. And then the path of return is like the traveler on the hero's journey. It's the weary yet enlivened traveler who, upon returning home to our community after this journey of experience, how are we integrating these new experiences and energies that we're uncovering within ourselves to be in service to ourselves and to our action, our sacred action in the world. And we will use, I'll use guided meditation, expressive movement and dance, art and ritual to embody these paths, so that people can walk away with hopefully a practice that they can use in their daily lives. And in whatever you walk away with from this course, you can be creative and make it meaningful for you. That it's a practice that we continually awaken this action and this divinization within ourselves, so that we can be in action and embody this practice in our lives. Look forward to the week.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I say this just about every time we do one of the conversations. The intensives sound so interesting. I want to just basically quit working that week and attend each of the intensives, because they're so rich. I want to thank all of you for joining us today. Ted Richards, Andrew Harvey, Robyn Hubbard. We're looking forward to having you all here. Those of you who are tuning in, you can study with these great teachers this coming March 12th through the 16th here at the Fox Institute. We offer doctorates, masters, and certificates. But if you wish to touch your toe in the water here at FICS, courses are open to the public, and we even have a couple of new lifelong learning opportunities that we're rolling out this week. So you can check in at our website at www.foxinstitute-cs.org. You can contact us through that website, or you can join our email list, or you can call Dr. Carol Bennington. She's our Dean of Students, and she can be reached at 720-880-3477. That's 720-880-3477. Please stay tuned for future In Conversations with the Fox Institute faculty, and we hope to see you in Boulder soon. Thank you all for joining us.